Over the years, many Canadians have shifted their view of a home as not only a place to live and create dreams, but more and more as an ATM to fund their lifestyle or to buy a second, third, and even a fourth property. In fact, never has tapping into home equity line of credits been more popular. Last month, Canadians borrowed $2 billion more in Heloc debt, the largest single month increase since 2012. Joining me to discuss Helocs and mortgage rates are Jason Pereira, financial planner and partner with Woodgate Financial, and Ron Butler, mortgage broker with Butler Mortgage. Gentlemen, great to have you on Strictly Money.
Great to be here.
I know Helocs have been rising in popularity, but $2 billion in a month. Ron, are you surprised, and should it set off alarm bells?
Not really surprised. One thing that consumers think about in the time of enormous run-up in real estate values is, how do I sort of monetize this increase in the value of my house? And in many ways, the HELOC is the best approach. You don't pay if you don't use it, and yet it provides you this potential huge amount of borrowing power. So to your point, there are people who are thinking about buying rental properties, and this form of the HELOC provides the down payment, forms the down payment. And there are people who just think, you know what, maybe someday these house values go down, so I want to lock in my whatever I can available to me to have as borrowing power.
Okay, so what do you think is the reason for the recent rise? Is there anything specific you're seeing?
Yeah, it's a point of the cycle. It's a point of the whole housing cycle that people can't escape the fact that the houses have gone up in price so much. Yeah. I mean, that was so prevalent in December and in January and in February. It was just that everybody was amazed by the growth in house prices. So by the time March rolls around, people stop and think, what do I do with this? What do I do with this huge increase in the value of my house? And HELOC becomes the first thing on their minds. As well, again, to your point, should I be buying a rental property? Because apparently the prices only go up, at least up until March.
Right. Yeah. Jason, as an advisor, what sort of conversations have you been having about HELOCs with your clients? And the second part of it is, have you noticed a change over the last 5 years?
Yeah, so I'm just going to pick up off where Ron left off. It's Canada, and most people seem to think prices only go up as written in the Constitution. They're sometimes surprised to know that's not there. So basically, what am I seeing? I think at the end of the day, it comes down to, there is nothing wrong with HELOCs. They're just a tool to be used. Yeah. There is no good or evil to them. The question is, what are you using them for? And I tend to deal with an affluent group. So what I used to see them for tends to be very positive versus what I've every now and then come across unfortunate negative uses of them. So are you using a home equity line of credit as a means of basically, for example, providing you with an emergency fund in time of need? Good use. Are you using it to normalize volatile earnings, right? If your earnings swing from quarter to quarter because you're on commission or something like that, and your spending is here, but your monthly income's here, but then your bonus comes up and it's here, and you need to kind of normalize those earnings, that's a positive use. There are some scenarios where borrowing to invest is also positive. But if you're in a position, and this is where the danger comes in, and we've seen this as well, where it is monthly consumption that is making you dip into your HELOC with just an ever deepening pot of money being owed, or your mortgage and your HELOC end up basically keeping you at the same level of debt, you have a fundamental spending issue. And unfortunately, I think we've seen a lot of Canadian consumers with that. And I think the trend is getting worse, at least more recently, because we're starting to see the stories creep up because of people having difficulty maintaining their payments on their variable rate mortgages and HELOCs, which are now climbing up. Now, this is very early innings. We don't have a lot of data supporting this, but it is disconcerting, and more people are becoming alarmed by it.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people, one, thought that interest rates would go up the way they are. And then on top of that, you have inflationary pressures. We only have about 30 seconds left. My question, I guess, is, in your experience, do you think people even understand what they're getting themselves into?
I think that there's a cohort of people who view equity in their home as something that's not being used and needs to get out as fast as possible. There's definitely a cohort that the second they have enough room there to basically take it out and buy another property or do something else with it, it's gone. And what I think the danger is with that group is, especially that group, given the fact we haven't had a major correction in decades now, is they have the attitude if it only goes up.